Good morning to all of you. Good morning. So we all know that this case is the first series of the cases of Ontario machinery ring, and this case is basically being set on a background of Canadian market. And if you look at, there are two very important characters in this whole case story. The first one is a Jack Jansen. This particular person, Jack Jansen, is a general manager of Ontario machinery ring. He was in some other firm prior to that, and he just joined recently in this firm. If you look at the first paragraph, it talks about the background he's been mentioning. He's talking about the challenges he's going to face, about how to handle the business beyond.
As we saw, the Ontario machine ring, this case was about the problem definition of the business research methodology that we study. This is about how the Jansen that we have, the main character, he has the problem in hand and how he will deliver this problem, how he will solve this problem, and he will get the loan from the government.
Let us understand first of all what their business is, right? They are into agriculture business and they are more like a service firm. They are not into manufacturing, they are not into training, they are more like a service firm. Non-profitable, member-owned cooperative organization where the member farmers as a members are a part of the cooperative chain and they are mutually being coordinated with the help of this company as in an organized manner. Jack Jansen already have some experience of European market. He had studied how European market has been performing in terms of agricultural performances and more or less how this concept of ring is working there very well in Europe. What we got to know that around 80% of the farmers in European countries are a part of these cooperative chains and they are following this union concept of a ring concept. Now what is this ring concept? Suppose you want to have an agricultural yield in the square feet area of your agricultural land. Some might be having machineries to handle that yield, some might not be having the machinery to handle that yield. So what they're going to do is, what is their job here is, they will pick out the farmers who have the harvesters and equipments to take care of the yield, and they pick up the farmers who do not have those equipments to take care of the yield. Whatever insight you already have got in the case, based on that insight, do you think Jack Jansen's present proposal of business plan will work? If not, why? If you want to changes, what further changes you want to do, for the reasons, and how they will go forward.
His current business plan says that they are adding 5 counties per year, and as we can see from the appendix that the average county has around 2,000 farms and the average custom work per farm is around $2,250. They expect that the penetration for the first year would be around 25%, and for the already using counties, those who already prefer these services, they think that the penetration would be somewhere around 50%.
Before you move further, I'm just explaining further. What do you mean by penetration? Let us conceptually define penetration here. If you're saying that penetration to be increased by 25% means, if you're serving how many farms right now? How many farms, agriculture farms?
Somewhere around 2,000.
2,000? So by another time, 25% means 25% more number of farms should be added in your service.
There was also need to create awareness and interest among the farmers to actually let them know that what all this process is actually about. So to create awareness and interest among the farmers, they planned to go for advertising. He thought that this would be very effective to reach sizable farmers with the information about the OMR.
So what I feel is, before introducing something, before keeping in hand the business plan, he should have gone to the people and told about his proper plan of he will be charging 2% service fee. So accordingly, he should have also asked the farmers whether they are ready to pay 2% fees for the time lacking, for the time they will be the main purpose for this plan is they have the time barrier which they will be getting on and also the location barrier. The closest one will be a match rather than the whole area. So what I feel is the looking after the impacts of the people and looking after the feedbacks they get, whether they are willing to accept this product and use this on a regular basis.
Fine. Charging in a fair judgment.
I could have stressed on the advertisement part to gain more people. And also about the finance part, like looking deep into the financial aspect, that do I need more money for it, and also gaining more feedback from people. As we can see in the case study, the amount is much more higher predicted for the year than the money he has asked from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. So the proper planning is lacking in the case study right now. So with this generation, I could have focused more on the financial accurate point from the feedbacks of the people, and also the creative, organizing campaigns and educating the farmers.
In order to get the loan from the government, we have to give them the primary research, and in OMRA we don't have the primary research as well. So according to me, I would have done some primary research, not just in the province that he is operating in, and rather than in the provinces other than the province that he operates in.
So we talked about the major issues with that, and I will come back to the group 2 now, talking about beyond to support the business plan and further covering up $700,000, which is again a deficit for whatever they've been going to cover up anyway. For this 3-year expansion plan, how would you go for? Thank you. Very good. Excellent. There are a few minor things which you would have picked up. Suppose you said that, just giving you some feedback, you talked about a brand awareness, Now, see, please understand one thing, when you're talking about television ads always as a medium give you brand recognition and brand awareness, but not in short term. It is always going to give you a return indirectly because these are non-personalized mediums. So if you really want to create awareness and make people engage with yourself, trade show is a better viable option than a television ad. First of all, whatever information you have, is it sufficient?
To a major extent, it is sufficient, sir, because Tom Jensen has thought from all point of views. Like he's also thought about the area managers, being the experienced farmer. As you've earlier mentioned, that they will also help in getting the people the right kind of equipment based on their land and field. And other concerns, as mentioned earlier, are about the budget that is stagnant. The budget is not variable. The budget of advertisement and also of the area managers is not variable. The cost of living part is only variable as it is increasing 50,000 per year. On a case like this, I first analyzed financials given in the appendix. And so when I saw the financials, I thought that the variable or the profit that they are earning every year, the decided profit, I mean, they decided to capture 25% for the first year and followed by 50% in the upcoming years. So I initially thought that when I read the case yesterday, I initially thought that $700,000 is the amount which wouldn't suffice them. But later when I came to the class and heard the discussion, I thought that yes, this might suffice them based on the discussion done in the class and the insights given by sir.
Some data is generally missing. What we have to do is dig out between the lines, and this is the good thing with the cases. Everyone has their own thoughts, so you structure accordingly. But when you come in a class, you hear different perspectives as well. So that gives you an example of how to think.
It was done as a part of secondary research with 300 respondents. I think that it is filtered one because Jansen may have gone to the persons who have already known about the concept of OMR. And not to the people who don't know. So it is a filtered one. So for me, I think this expansion is a very significant leap. So I think they should go for a primary research also with the secondary research, because in primary research we will be having direct discussions, and with the business research methods of applying FGD and IDI, we can get a comprehensive plan, proper depth of understanding that what farmers are actually needing and are they willing to pay for this service or not.
Most of your farmers which you have surveyed are a part of Huron County only. What about those farmers you yet to serve? So that means your sample size should come from other counties of Western Ontario, because your first market phase of expansion is Western Ontario. So when you want to take a research support, should come from all counties equally. See, good case is something which challenges an analyzer to dig out the things and bring out something which is not explicitly been mentioned. Bring out something which is implicitly been, they have to assume and bring and draw assumptions and arguments out of it. The issue is, if I look at the possible case reservoirs we have in the domain of marketing research, unfortunately we do not have very good cases in the domain of marketing research, in more specifically discussing problem definition and research design. And that's one of the major reasons why these cases been over the years been used across business schools and well known to develop those blend of discussions of more specifically in the area of problem definition and in the area of research design. That is one of the major reasons. Second is these cases have been giving some blend of challenging the analyzer to dig out relevant information gaps. Very rare cases normally give those kind of scope.
We are majorly an agricultural economy. I believe that that aspect definitely relates more with the Indian farmers as well, and the need and the need and availability model that they are following, because they are basically mapping out a farmer that has a need with a person who has the resources. So I believe that model can also work really well here in India, where the resources are limited and we need to follow sustainability more.
So can we propose something? If you look at the exhibit, how many counties they have? They talked about how many counties do you have in Western Ontario?
10x.
10x. 10 excluding the other one.
Yes, sir.
If you have 10 counties, per county how many farms they have?
Average of 2,000.
Average of 2,000. If I just take 20% farms of farmers from each and take a representation of farmers from all 10 counties, my job done. Now come the third guideline. If you're already presuming that if you're already going for primary research, keeping in mind that the existing research insights are not sufficient. So we're going ahead. Jack Jansen decided, I want to go ahead for primary research, and proposals are being accepted. Now I want to study the research design. One of the first component of research design is information variables to study. You said that, sir, we're talking about the awareness of OMR concept. So this will be first information variable. I'm digging it out from you only. Awareness level of OMR concept, right? Furthermore, the people respondent who already like it, why they like it, reasons of liking the OMR concept. Third, who are not using, reasons of not using OMR concept. The people who know about OMR, what they think, how in what way the OMR will help them out. Mapping the concept in their profession. So you also need to get the information variable, how this OMR is going to enhance their profession, in a way going to substantiate their revenue also while running this concept there. And eventually, because this research information variable you're going to collect, obviously there should be an information variable of willingness to pay and intention to use this particular concept. So there will be a question or information variable of intention to apply.